Welcome back to the newsroom. It's time for Focus. Pakistan makes international headlines on an almost daily basis as deadly attacks continue to rock the country. Fingers are frequently pointed at the Taliban and their campaign against Western interests in Pakistan and across the border in Afghanistan. But the backdrop of the bloodshed is more complicated than that. Over the next few minutes, we're looking at the concerns that sectarian tensions between Shia and Sunni Muslims are making a bad situation even worse. Shia Muslims make up around 20% of the Pakistani population, and as of late, there have been a series of attacks against them. In a moment, we'll discuss the issues with our correspondent in Pakistan, as well as our guest here in the studio. But first, though, let's take a look at this report.
Shi'ites call this matam. The men flay themselves to express their grief and pay tribute to their leader, Imam Hussein, who was killed 1,400 years ago. But in Pakistan, the Shia minority suffered not only from self-flagellation. Between 4,000 and 6,000 of them have been killed in targeted attacks in recent years.
These are pictures of Shiite leaders who've been murdered in the past few months, just in Peshawar. These people are doctors, politicians, teachers. This is how we are treated.
Akhundzada is the leader of the Shiite community in Peshawar. He doesn't go out much, lives under police protection, and receives threatening letters.
Look at the mail I get. Infidel Shia, go away. Leave this place immediately or something very bad will happen to your very pretty little daughter.
10 to 15,000 Shiites live here, keeping a low profile in the old city of Peshawar. Artisans, shopkeepers, but also some high-ranking bureaucrats.
We Shiites practice our faith in our own way, whether we're in Najaf, in Iraq, Afghanistan, or Iran. Our faith guides us, not the government.
But in Pakistan, Islam and the state are tightly linked, and religious differences often lead to mutual suspicion.
We're targets because some Sunnis in Pakistan think we follow foreign ideas, including from Iran. But that's absurd.
The struggle between the sects actually hides deeper rivalries between Muslim states. We have met with Ahl-e-Sunnat, the main anti-Shia organization in Pakistan. These men are in fact the political wing of Lashkar-e-Jhangvi, a group banned in Pakistan and considered a terrorist organization with links to Al-Qaeda.
But we do not practice violence. Those who attack Shiites, that's the armed wing, the Lashkar-e-Jhangvi, not us.
Non-violent, but constantly referring to Haq Nawaz Jhangvi, the historic leader of the anti-Shiite armed group.
The main problem with the Shiites is that their books advocate anti-Islamic concepts. They're imported free from Iran. This book, for example, is blasphemous. How can you tolerate it?
In recent months, attacks on Shiites have become more common. For Pakistan, already weakened by the war against the Taliban, a flare-up of Sunni Shiite violence would no doubt be overwhelming.
Let's delve deeper now into these sectarian divisions. Here in the studio, we have Alain Lamballe, who's a writer, consultant, and a former French military attaché in Pakistan as well as India. With us from the Pakistani capital, Islamabad, we also have our correspondent, Stefan Kloss. And if we start with you, Stefan, I mean, is the situation really getting worse in Pakistan? Are these sectarian tensions, are they getting worse? And if that's the case, what's fueling that development?
Well, sectarian violence in Pakistan is already there for the last 30 years or so, and it increased again after 9/11. And this is also due to the fact that in the 70s, first 80s, at that time dictator Zia-ul-Haq actually supported Sunni militant groups and extremist parties, and this again became stronger after 9/11 here in Pakistan. So it is another battleground, I would say, the sectarian violence. It is worsening from from time to time. Then there is less tension again. So we have to see, but it's definitely a big problem in Pakistan here.
Now, there was an attack against the Shia community in Karachi just last week. I mean, do we know who the groups are or individuals are behind these attacks and behind this violence?
Well, the official investigation is not over yet, but we do know that both sides, Shias and also Sunnis, are organized militant groups which are banned most of the time, and that's how they basically operate against each other. But it's not known so far who is really behind this attack which happened in Karachi.
Now, if we turn to Ala Lombal here in the studio, Ala, this talk of Al-Qaeda and the Taliban using these sectarian tensions in Pakistan to further their own cause. Do you buy into that theory?
Well, there is, of course, some contact between the Taliban and the anti-Shia movement, certainly. Both of them have got a common aim, in a way, to put the government into trouble. But as has been said by your correspondent, the tension between the Shia and the Sunnis are not new. And they happen regularly, particularly at the time of Ashura, that the main feast for the Shia, who celebrate the murder of Imam Hussein in Karbala, in Iraq now. So it's not new, actually, but of course it has got now a special, special note because of this problem with the Taliban, obviously.
Mm-hmm. But you're basically saying that the Taliban may not be directly linked to these attacks.
No, they are not directly linked to that, but they are, of course, in touch. I mean, all these Sunni movements, they are in touch between themselves. They may probably act separately, but however, they have a common aim and they have some kind of contact, even if it is decentralized as far as action is concerned on the ground.
From your perspective, is the government in Pakistan doing enough to address these issues?
Well, the government has got a lot of problems to solve now, because the militants appear everywhere in the country, not only in the northwest frontier province and the tribal areas, but also in Punjab, in the main town, in Karachi, for instance. And the government actually does not know what to do. It's not really a military problem. It is, a problem to be solved by the police, paramilitary forces, or, in fact, the security forces, either civilians or military, are involved, but they cannot cope with the situation. The government is weak, and actually it is interesting to note that President Sadari is a Shia himself, and the Prime Minister, Gilani, is a Shia himself. But however, the problems which happened is not because of that, because, as I said, it happened before.
Mm-hmm. Let's pick up on that point with Stefan Kloss back in Pakistan. I mean, Alan just raised the point there that the Pakistani president is actually Shia, seeing that it's often perceived that the Pakistani establishment isn't divided, that it has been unified throughout all of this. But is there perhaps a risk that there could be more tensions even within the Pakistani leadership?
Well, indeed, Pakistan's president, he belongs to the Shia community, and on contrary, the military mostly, they belong to the Sunni community. But the problem of sectarian violence, in my view, has not really reached, or this problem has not really reached yet the higher echelons in Pakistani politics, although, and I agree with the guest in Paris, they are, on the other side, not dealing with the problem in Pakistan now. There is a lot of poverty, there is a rise in there are many things not available in shops. There is no proper education. So this sectarian violence will go on in Pakistan.
All right, Stefan Kloss in Islamabad, thanks very much. Thanks also to Ala Lombal here in the studio in Paris. And with that, we're going to wrap up this edition of Focus. Thanks for watching France 24.